And what was submitted in time is basically what we had already processed before taking our report to the House on 27th of March. Auditor General, what is your advice?
Thank you, Chair. In the review of the responses submitted to the office on 12th June 2025, there were issues which we felt were adequately addressed, but still appeared in the recommendations of the Senate. Maybe we might request if the committee can discuss the issues we have felt that they have been resolved, so that we can have a few issues left for follow-up. Thank you.
What about the receiver of revenue? I've not gotten clarity on whether you have responses on ROR.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Equally, we had responses on ROR on 12th June 2025, which we also reviewed, and out of the 7 issues, only 1 issue was resolved. But we have not received the status report on implementation of the Senate's recommendations. Thank you.
Okay. Bashanja, we have talked about this process, and we have said that we must, even though the CEC appears like he's familiar with the audit process, we must reiterate what the process is and demand compliance. Maybe you might want to explain to the entity what the law says, what the Public Audit Act says, and relevant statutes with regards to this process.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. For purposes of the committee and this hearing, I'm referring to Section 53(1) of the Public Audit Act, which states as follows: the relevant accounting officer of a state organ or public entity shall, within 3 months after Parliament has considered and made recommendations on audit report, A, take the relevant steps to implement the recommendations of Parliament on the report of the Auditor General, and B, give explanations in writing to Parliament on why the report has not been acted upon. So, Chair, I think for the benefit of the CEC, this is what the public auditor requires, that they should respond to and give actions taken on recommendations by Parliament. Chair, Section 2 also gives, Part 2 of that Act also gives sanctions. If your permission, I can read. Failure to comply with the provisions of subsection 1, the accounting officer shall be in contempt of Parliament or County Assembly, and upon determination by Parliament or relevant County Assembly, Parliament or relevant County Assembly may recommend administrative sanctions such as removal as accounting officer, reduction in rank, among others. So, Chair, it is not a new phenomenon as maybe the CEC was indicating. It is what is provided for in the Act, this Act since 2015. So it is a requirement that they must implement and give that evidence in writing as verified by the auditor for the satisfaction of this committee, Chair.
Governor, is there any ambiguity, lack of clarity in that provision?
Chair, my apologies, Chair. You know, I'm a very learned person, and I've just discovered that my CC didn't tell me the truth, and I will take action. And my apologies to this committee.
Are you throwing your CC under the bus?
No, I'm just discovering that I thought we had submitted all of them by 12. But we have the documents with us, and Chair, we apologize for that.
Learned doesn't apply here. If you are a learned governor, you shouldn't have missed the process.
Chair, with your permission, my apologies once again. You say that being learned does not apply here, but holding a PhD is a very serious business in this country. And
yeah, when you are learned, the governor, you should have actually cross-checked with your CEC.
They did confirm to me, but I've just realized where the messed up was.
We must remind Governor that even Senator Mundigi has a PhD.
Chair, what I can say, maybe as an observation, Governor, in future you should attend entry and exit meeting and be able to see management letters so that you are aware ahead of your people. because the governor is the person who has executive powers, unlike even the president. And you have advantage because Mheshimiwa Rob, I thought you served with him. He was the MP, I think in 11, and he served in Public Accounts Committee. So I think, how long have you, Governor? I thought it is unfair because I thought Rob joined you the other day.
Honorable Chair, that's true.
How long has he been your CC?
Almost now, almost going to a year.
Yeah, so
He's fairly new.
Oh, yeah, so you need to be fair to, and it's good to see also Mheshimiwa Makerere, your former ODM Secretary General, although he left office unceremoniously.
He failed to manage goons, so the goons managed him. Yeah, but I think, Governor, with such a team,
Yes.
then you should not be having challenges when you come to Parliament because you have people who understand these processes. And as Gashanja has read, there was a part that was saying failure to comply. Then you shall be found to be in contempt of Parliament, and Parliament may recommend. I'm not sure whether we are at that point where we could say that they are contemptuous of Parliament, because I've had some remorse coming from the government. So the question is, what is it that we can practically do today? Because we don't have responses on the recommendations of the Senate, but we have responses on the findings of the Auditor General. What is it that we can do practically in this session? Because the first option is to tell the governor, go home and come back when you have the proper responses. Is there anything useful we can do today?
Yeah, maybe so that the answers both.
Senator Cherargei.
And of course, while apologies, parliamentary governor, and I know your CC will tell you that in our standing orders, you know we cannot shoot in the dark. So my proposal, Chair, there are issues in this report that has been resolved between the entity and the Office of the Auditor General. So maybe we can adopt those resolutions, seek further clarification from governor and the team, then other issues, because OAG is our ears and eyes. We don't want to operate with the monkey principle, hear, see, and say nothing. We expect the OAG to be the ear and eyes so that they authenticate, because Governor, this process gives you a second bite to the cherry, so that if there are things that were missed between entry, exit, and management aspect during the year under review, you have the second bite to the cherry where you can clarify. In fact, this is the neutral forum where you can now be able to give us furthermore. So I think, to be fair, because if we are to proceed without the authentication chair of the OAG, we will both be unfair to Parliament, unfair to yourself, and unfair to OAG. So why don't we, Chair, go through what the OAG and the entity have resolved, seek further clarification on those matters. On the case of projects, we can plan to visit KERICHO when we'll be visiting Nyamira and any part of the country, especially in Nyanza and South Rift. We can pass through. Those are things that the OAG can still further go and clarify in KERICHO when they look at those. So my proposal, the issues that are not addressed and the OAG has not authenticated and looked through it, we can hold it for now. Then, Governor, in July, you can come back. I know it will be a more smaller bit. We can go through. If we are not satisfied, then you can still come back to clarify. Because at the end of the day, Governor, if you don't come back and be able to clarify further issues, we will take a report to the floor of the House. And the House might resolve against you, yet you didn't avail yourself to clarify these issues further. So, Chair, I think, and it is good you have at least the members, former members of Parliament who understand the parliamentary procedure, and congratulate you for, Chair, in conclusion, when you leave politics, it's hard for anybody to give you a job. So we don't take it for granted that you have former members of parliament who served with us. Najua walikuwa wameumia kabisa. But chair, anyway, that's a story for another day. But I want to agree, let us go with what we have resolved. And then they can still come back with the yet to be resolved.
Thank you, Senator. You please go on record, Senator Gataya.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Senator Mwenda Gataya, Tharaka-Nithi County and a member of this committee. Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa, my good friend, Governor.
Karibu, Senator. I want to pick up from where Senator Cherargei has proposed. Auditor, are you in a position, if you went back to the report of 12th of June, not the report of last night, because that one we cannot consider. That is completely unacceptable. It cannot be admissible before this committee. If we went back to the report of 12th of June, we identify the issues where you are satisfied that they have been resolved, so that we drop them off the report, and the pending issues, to avoid a situation where we are doing the audit here. The pending issues, we will then have to schedule and give appropriate notice to the governor to respond in accordance with the recommendations of the Senate. Is that procedural?
Yes, Chair.
Governor, so that's what we have, yeah?
I'm in total agreement, Chair.
Fine. So let's, as I'd said earlier, that our default approach would have been that we would terminate this meeting on account that some reports came to us last night. But Governor, you're a man who has been previously put on trial before the Senate, and you are in office because the Senate agreed that you should be in office. So I would expect that you take Senate proceedings very, very seriously, because this House, I think, has been called upon even previously when Governor Chepkwony was in office. The Senate again agreed that Governor Chepkwony should go back and continue being governor of Kericho. And he went on for 2 terms. So you should take this House very seriously, and more so that the majority leader of this House is a senator for Kericho. So perhaps that could earn you a little bit of sympathy. But otherwise, by now, we would have kicked you out. You'd be Narok on your way back to Kericho. So let's identify the issues that are resolved, tick them off. If there's a question on the part of the members, we can address that. But if there's none, we can just put it on record that those are resolved, and then the unresolved ones shall be dealt with at another forum.
Thank you, Chair. I am able to identify the issues which have been addressed by the county executive, and maybe I can go through the report and mention them. On the report on financial statements, paragraph 1 on variance between financial statements and if mispayment details has been resolved.
So the variances between IFMIS and financial statements are resolved.
Yes, Chair.
Governor,
Chair,
you confirm that?
I confirm it's been resolved, Chair.
Yeah, because it's not always that we find this matter resolved, because the counties would blame the treasury, the counties would blame IFMIS, and they would talk of historical balances that need to be reconciled. So, Auditor, you can confirm that in Kericho, IFMIS and financial statements tie, and that the system is being used in the manner that is prescribed?
Yes, Chair.
Okay. You will forgive my skepticism, because most of the counties that have appeared before me have serious problems with balances tying between the two. So fine, if the auditor is satisfied, we can mark that as resolved. But because everyday data is being entered, of course, in 2024, 2025, you must still query whether the balances tie, isn't it?
Yes, Chair.
This is an ongoing matter.
Yes, Chair.
Okay. Senator
Chair,
Cherargei?
maybe, Governor, is this your response, the red file?
We have the main file, this one,
Which one?
the box file.
So where are your responses? You know, we have three. We have the blue one. Because the black one I wanted to observe.
The ones that have been resolved.
Yes, yes, that is where I am. The ones that have been resolved. This is the file.
Yeah.
So I thought they were committee recommendations. Was there any administrative action that was be taken in the committee recommendations? OAG?
No, let me clarify that, Senator. It has emerged that they have not responded to the recommendations of the committee. I think that is what we have established. That is what your CC has stated as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So we shall not query action taken on the recommendations of the committee. That is what we are saying must be dealt with at another meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, so that for now, and this can be a very quick exercise, for now we are just identifying the issues that the Auditor General confirms have been resolved.
Yeah.
So that whatever remains, then the governor should respond as per the recommendations of the Senate. So actually it's
Double job now.
sorry.
Chair,
We are doing double work because if they have not actually dealt with the committee's recommendation and they have dealt with the auditor, so that means we still have to go back to the recommendation of the committee.
that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. So we are doing two jobs.
Because I thought after self-reporting, there were recommendations that we made. So the governor should tell us, the committee recommended this is what we have, and the OAG would have verified if it was 60 days, or 30 days, or 90 days. Because if they were reconciliation, I've seen governor in part of the annexure, chair, one of them he has indicated that there are letters that training for FMEs and how it should be done.
Yeah.
So my issue was, we are the lost chair on how we should proceed because we made recommendation, they did self-reporting, and then the governor has given his management response, including our next chairs. So how do you proceed from here? Maybe, Chair, you can guide us.
I think, let me just provide clarity because the response to our recommendations came last night and the CEC has confirmed, and we cannot process it. We cannot review it. We cannot refer to it because the Auditor General has not had time to verify it. That's why I asked the Auditor General, what is it that we can do now that the entity is here? Do we tell you go back to KERICHO, or do we guide you on the issues that remain outstanding so that you can deal with them directly? So that's why I've asked the auditor to point for us the issues that they feel have been resolved to their satisfaction. We don't even have to query them. We just need to tick them off. Then whatever remains must be responded to in line with the recommendations of the Senate. So we would do a double job if we were to query. Actually, right now we're just listing and ticking off. Auditor, again,
I think, Chair, that clarity is it's enough.
Yeah.
I capture the concerns of Senator Dulo. Now that we are trying to mark what has been resolved by the auditors, maybe without even interrogating the whole process, I think that's okay. I don't think whether to amount to.
It is, Chair, because in the first response of the 12th, we went through with the auditors and we made recommendations. It's up to auditors now to reconfirm what we have recommended has been done, which we are not ready to receive information on. Yeah? So that is why I'm raising this concern. I don't know.
What do you think we are supposed to do? I thought maybe you could give us some guidance now that we have raised that level.
You know, I understand Senator Dulo's concern. I share a similar concern. If we tell these guys go home and we don't guide them, they'll come back with the same mess. And they'll be coming and we send them home. They come, we send them home. The reason why I'm saying we don't even have to interrogate, because on 12th of June, you responded to the original report, which you had responded to in March. So what we are just trying to confirm is that the issues we are ticking off are the issues that the Senate resolved had been cleared. Because your report of 12th of March, or 12th of June, sorry, is a response on the original report of the Auditor General.
Yes.
But that report was considered by the Senate and amended on 27th of March.
Okay.
So we just want to guide you that issue number 1, 2, 3, 4, the Senate had cleared. But the remaining 40 issues are outstanding and they will be subjected to proper interrogation.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Senator, we are not doing an audit on I think there were just 7 issues. Were they 5 or 7? We are just ticking off the 7 issues that are moving out of this report.
Okay.
Everything else remains until it is explained.
You captured the sentiment of the governor. Actually, the governor said that he is learning and so forth. But we said, actually, it's Dula who questioned the learning of the governor. You know that the governor is learning, he shouldn't have done this mistake.
No, he's the one who said he's learning.
I have no problem.
Let us not discuss.
We didn't expect this.
Let us not discuss the personal conduct.
No. Then we said since the came up.
Correction. The governor is the one who said he's learned. And I corrected him on that point.
That's basically what I'm saying. Then I said, Chair, the conversation of the CEC from the governor is well overt with parliamentary procedure and so forth. So I don't know for what reasons then we're having this kind of hiccups. Actually, the chair was a bit trying to moderate the whole process. Actually, he said the governor should not be on his way to Kericho. We have some issues that we are supposed to consider. And now that your governor, you are here, let's look at what the auditors have been able to see and tick, and then proceed.
Chair, as I maybe no, and he doesn't use the narrow route. He uses Mau Summit, what's nearer to him. But the governor is a learned fellow, but he was a distinguished don, having been a lecturer of linguistics. So, Governor, you have been a linguistic. I'm coming. That's why I want to find out from him. No. Chair, can you protect me from
Order, you have the mic.
Chair, Governor, you are a linguistic person with distinguished decorated career. This letter said the agenda of the meeting will be to consider a detailed status report on the actions that we have taken to address the unresolved issues raised on the Auditor General's report on financial statement of the County Executive for Kericho in the financial year, of course, under consideration, and on receiver of revenue. So, and then say, submit status report on the implementation of the resolutions. So I think the governor has apologized for that oversight, but it should have been to respond to the recommendations that we made on the floor of the House. So I don't know, Governor, is it your team did not understand, or you thought it's the same thing? And let me ask you a further question so that you answer both. After this came to your attention, did your CCM Finance meet with the OAG to try and look into this issue? Because you are the entities, you work together, you work in concurrence, you don't work in divergence. So this issue, the wording was very clear in the letter. And maybe, is it number 3, I have heard you have an acting county secretary, which is normally the receiver. I know this was addressed, but who is the receiver of all correspondence to your government? So there should be a role. I don't know, because maybe you don't have county secretary at the moment. I'm not canvassing for anybody, but I'm just asking, the acting county secretary should be part of even guidance in your cabinet in terms of correspondence with other entities and follow-up. And finally, Chair, I didn't hear you introduce the county attorney. Or is the county attorney here? So those are my 4 questions, Chair, because I agree, Chair, unless the 7 issues in conclusion so that the governor can answer, we just stick through, make guidance comments, Then we adjourn because we have several meetings in the afternoon around 3 to 4.
Correct. That's why I think we now need to make progress. Governor, some questions have been put to you quickly.
Chair, one, I don't know how to respond to the question of being learned or otherwise, because that's a relative statement. And Chair, I'm just saying that the
Governor, leave that subject. It will land you into problems.
into more problems.
Just
And I
go
hope
to
your
the
students who are
go to the audit matter. Yeah, just go to audit. So,
those students who are above average.
Senator Cherargei, order. Governor.
Chair, in another circle, I would also want to inform Senator that when we sit in another Senate, we also hold the residual rights to withdraw degrees and certificates. And so you must be careful also on that one. But now, Chair, on the question of we have one mistake we have made and have apologized. We received the letter and we responded to the audit questions of the original audit on the status, Honorable Chair, on the status of the implementation. We have the responses, but we did it late. And the mistake is not on the auditors, the mistake is on us, because we submitted late. Had we had known the practice, because we thought that we were doing it the way we were doing last year, we would have submitted all of them in time. And that is why we were able to pick the deadline and submit the original report by 12th. The Senate responses, we submitted late. And Chair, I really apologize to this committee for that one. But the responses are here, but we responded very late, and the mistake is on us, on the county. So I plead for mercy, because this is the first experience we're having. And we did comply in the original submission. By 12th, we had already submitted. But for the status implementation, we did make our submission, but it was late. And Chair, we apologize for that one. We request then that where we go through this original report that we have, the original audit report that we have submitted, so that where there are unresolved issues, we go back, as Cherargei has indicated, that we use the Mau Summit route, and the government is expanding that road, so I know it will not be very busy in the near future. We'll be home very early and be able to come out to this committee when you need us anytime, Chair. Thank you.
My members have expressed frustration, and they have communicated it in different languages and different tones. But you are on record as apologizing, and I think that is parliamentary. So members, on that account, the governor owns up that they ought to have done better. So what perhaps we restrict ourselves to is the Auditor General to identify the issues that they feel have now been resolved in their original report, so that we either agree or disagree with them, and then whatever remains to be responded to by the county in the format and manner captured in the recommendations of the Senate. So OAG, you had mentioned there were 7 issues. Because of the general mood of frustration, we shall not audit those issues. We shall rely on your verification and assurance. So the first one was balances between IFMIS and financial statements.
Thank you, Chair. The report on the financial statements, the first paragraph was on variance of financial statements with ledger and IFMIS payment details. The next paragraph.
So that one, in your view, is resolved.
Yes.
Does not need to be responded to.
Yes.
It at the next meeting.
Yes. Yes.
The next one.
The next one is unsupported foreign travel and subsistence.
That has been supported now.
Yes.
And does not need to form part of the next report.
No.
The next one?
The next one is paragraph number 4 on accounts payables, that is retention monies.
Again, the aging analysis and reconciliation has been provided.
Yes.
And does not need to form part of the next report.
Yes, Chair.
Next.
The next one is unsupported domestic travel and subsistence allowance.
That's 5.1.
5.1?
That has been supported to your satisfaction?
Yes. And then the next one is 5.2, unauthorized reallocation of development funds to the current board.
That has been resolved?
Yes.
What about the counterpart issue in the report on lawfulness? Because there's something along the same lines.
It was resolved.
It was
If
resolved.
I can say what it stands is, it could be, that is domestic travel, which is charged on travel and is directly related to the development expenditure.
So if this is resolved, the query under lawfulness is also
resolved.
resolved.
Yes, yes.
Next one.
The next one is from
You are talked of list of ongoing projects? Oh, that's also outstanding?
yes. List of ongoing projects. Yes.
That was just a listing?
Yes.
Then misclassification of economic items in the...
Was not, that one was not.
That one is not resolved.
Yeah. The other one is those could be the 7. Are they 7? The one I've just mentioned?
So those are the resolved issues.
5, 6. I think I've mentioned all of them, the 7.
So, Governor, so now you know what you're supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
Save for the 7 issues that we have ticked off, you must respond to the remaining issues on the basis of the recommendations of the Senate of 27th March.
Okay.
I hope there's clarity on that so that there's no confusion at our next meeting.
I'm obliged, Chair.
In addition, Chair, there are recommendations on administrative actions. Maybe you need to look through and see where we have recommended administrative action on certain areas.
Okay, Chair.
Maybe further to that, Governor, your team should meet with the OAG if there are further annexures that need to be provided, especially apart from documentation. And you are aware of Section 62 of the Public Audit Act that specifically provides for provision of documents.
Okay.
And I know, Chair, we have taken a generic position on this that since most entities have a problem with provision of documentation, we might just allow you to take administrative action, but to ensure that it is punishable. We saw your colleague here moving a chief officer from finance to taking care of children's department. So we would really want to see if there are further, in fact, this is the second bite of the cherry, because we are giving you another lifeline to ensure that you sit with the auditor, let them, if they need further information and documentation, make sure you provide so that the next meeting can be very quick. Because this is a rare, Chair, and I want to say this is a rare magnanimity from yourself. Because naturally, and you should thank me because I'm the neighbor of KERICHO. Now, Chair, on a lighter note, you know, Dulo, you need our support somewhere ahead in the next few days, so you should also be. So what I'm saying, Chair, I have never seen this magnanimity before, because naturally, Governor, and your senator should have been here. He sends his apologies and regards because he is held up in other exigencies of duty. Is that naturally you should be on your way. But because we want to, devolution is a learning process.
Yep.
So we want to exchange the notes because one of the biggest role of the Senate is protection of devolution, protecting the interest. And one way to protect is to ensure you learn the curve of devolution and the value at the down that place. So Governor, please, And these OAG are your friends.
Yeah.
Take advantage of them. Meet them. Whenever you are not busy, make sure when they are doing any meetings, please be present. I can assure you, if you work with these people in the next financial year, we'll take 15 minutes and you go home. Please. Thank you, Chair.
Well noted.
Yeah, Senator, if I've been considered today, it is not on account of the governor, it is on account of the senator for Kericho, who is our leader of majority and is a gentleman whom we respect. Perhaps those are the, so if you're going back home, thank your senator. Because if your senator was not the leader of majority, I think we would have literally kicked you out by now.
Much obliged.
But as I neighbor, they have been very close nowadays. They are like Siamese twins. Yes, I'm a neighbor and I normally see across the fence. They are like Siamese twins.
Let's not discuss regional politics because we might end up in dangerous terrain. I think if we are not going to continue our interrogation, we just need to be efficient and bring this matter to a close. I think the governor is sufficiently advised on what he needs to do next. But I think, let me be clear that at the next round, we shall not be as considerate or as generous,
But
even if the majority leader...
yeah, I've never seen you in this mood. You have a very good mood today. I want this message to reach the governor. No, he has a very good mood because of course, he has been very magnanimous on this issue. Actually, Chair, today, whoever woke you up, it is the wife. Why are you saying whoever woke you up?
Why are you doubting where I woke up from? I woke up at home and was woken up by my wife. OAG, I think you had registered some concern with respect to the cooperation of the entity.
Yes.
Can we put that on record and we direct them on what we expect them to do?
Thank you, Chair. The concern we had has been addressed by Senator Cheragay, whereby he invited the CCM and the other CCMs to be attending our exit meetings. Maybe we can equally add that the governor could also take time so that the tone comes from the top, and that will make the audit very efficient. Thank you.
Governor, the auditor is asking that you be hands-on in the audit process because you're the one who comes here to respond. So if you're not familiar with the contents of the report, then you'll come here and you'll appear clueless. So please take that suggestion. The in-year audit has commenced.
Ongoing.
It's ongoing. So please take an interest in what the Auditor General is doing.
Okay.
We shall therefore schedule another date for consideration of the issues that have not been addressed, so that once we have gotten the response and interrogated the issues, we can then advise the auditor on how to deal with them in the 2024-2025 audit process.